Okay, this is Talking Smit, episode 3, with the one and only Kenny Gomez. Everybody say hi. Hello, Kenny. Welcome to the
Hey,
podcast.
thank you so much for having me.
No
I'm
problem.
very happy to finally make it, to finally be here in your show.
So,
We've been trying to do this for a while, so finally this is
yeah, yeah,
happening.
yeah. I have like a week off, so I have time to finally do this.
Nice,
First question I ask
cool.
everyone is like, who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
My name is Kenny Gomez. I was born and raised in Venezuela, but I live in the Czech Republic in Prague for the last 12 years. It's been a long time, and I play music. I just play in different places. Try to write songs and try to get into a little bit into music production, something I like. But currently, I've been mainly writing stuff and just using my creativity in this, especially this in the past 4 or 5 weeks
Uh,
for sure.
that makes
Mm.
sense. So, you're from Venezuela. Like, why did you move to Prague? Why not Paris or I don't
Mm.
know, Thailand or something? There's a lot of options on the planet.
Yeah. So I knew a girl from Prague, and well, she's not from Prague, but she's from the Czech Republic. I met her in my country, in my city, Caracas, and she was married to a Venezuelan guy. And at the time, I was looking to move somewhere and just explore a little bit, the world a little bit, but also for music purposes. Like I decided back then that music is the thing that I wanted to do and stuff. And music in Venezuela is great, but is limited to Venezuela, at least in the underground scene, right? Which was my case back then, right? I was more into rock, and it was very local. So I met her. She told me about the Czech Republic. I didn't really know much about it back then. She told me about Prague, and I started just seeing the pictures and different things about the city that I wasn't really aware of. Like the location, such a nice location in Europe. Like the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it is so different, from what I'm used to back home, back in South America.
Mm-hmm.
um, the culture, the food, the people, the weather. The weather was a big factor. I wasn't so happy with that. Um,
That makes
because
sense. Yeah.
yeah, I was looking for different things. I was looking for like new experiences, things that I had never seen, right? Of course, I had other options. I had a list of different places that I was looking at, and potential places that I would decide to move to. But of course, there were limitations.
Hmm.
Paperwork, bureaucracy. Of course, if
Well,
you're not
Czech
from those
Republic is
countries,
great for that. Like bureaucracy, they're like in the top of their game. It's like,
yeah. Well, bureaucracy is terrible here, but it could be worse. It could be much worse. So it's all, I think, relative. But definitely Prague had everything that I was looking for. The cost of living here is lower compared to other cities that were on my list. The fact that a different language is spoken here, which is very different. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be that hard, but that was also something that I said,
I'm
well,
here for 5 years and I still suck ass.
well,
And then
tell
the
me about
Czechs
it.
are
But
like, it's like, yeah, you should get a Czech girlfriend. It's like, well, I had that for like the last 3 years and it didn't improve my Czech at all because she's like a teacher trainer for English language.
oh,
And most of her friends are like from the UK or like
okay,
most of them speak English all the time. So the only Czech I hear is
yeah.
between her and her daughter, but her daughter is like 10. And in the last 3 years, her English improved by like 200%. So she speaks English to me. It's like kind of
uh,
hard to get exposed to the language in that way, you know. It's like,
It is hard. It is hard, especially in Prague. I think Prague makes it a little bit more difficult for foreigners.
hmm
And yes, I mean, we still should make the effort, and I do. I do make the effort sometimes. But typically, it doesn't happen as much as it used to, and as often as it used to. But in the past, I would just walk into a restaurant and they would just speak English to me. You know, they wouldn't let me
yeah, yeah,
try. And then
yeah.
I'll be
But
like,
that's
"Hey,
the
but
thing. Like in a restaurant or a shop, my Czech is good enough for that. Like I can understand the menu. It's like I know for 80% what's on there, and like if I don't know, it's like just take a risk. Yeah, take that. It's fine. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah." I definitely try to use it as much as I can, really. And yeah, you know, even in bureaucratic say scenarios, like I don't know, I go to the post office or something, you
hmm
know. I'm trying to use it more these days
hmm
because I understand more these days and I can speak more. But I think I need to still. There's a long way to go still with the language. This is the language that really takes a long time.
yeah. And I think
Uh,
like if you really want to learn it, like what I learned from people that really are good at a language, even though they're not from here, it's like they really went for like a 6 month course at the Charles University. You know, like they really put their time in. And I'm like,
mhm.
I don't have time to go to a university for 6 months to learn this language because I have my job for 40
Yeah,
hours a week. It's like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I have the option to learn the language at work for free, but that's like 1 hour a week. And that doesn't work for me because an hour a week is not,
Mm.
it doesn't get to my brain in that way. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. No, you definitely have to put in more time, more than 1 hour.
mm-hmm,
Even if you do have 1 hour at your, you know, your job, you have to go home and practice
mm-hmm.
and do your exercises, do your homework, and try to use it maybe at home with your girlfriend, with people. Uh, Definitely 1 hour is not enough. And even if it's two or three or four or five, it's not enough because you really have to put it into practice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like going to a classroom and having the lessons is great, but having the actual practice to go out there and struggle a little bit, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
something
yeah.
that I guess you have to go through. You know, it's necessary to really break that barrier. You know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
between I know the rules because I go to school
mm-hmm,
and I'm able to have a conversation without having to, you know, check in my dictionary. You know,
mm-hmm,
because what I say is that I used to teach English. I was a teacher for 6 years. And what I always used to say to my students is that if you don't know how to say something, maybe because you don't know the right word, try to say it differently. Try to somehow explain it or try to find alternatives or something, but don't stop just because you don't know a specific word.
mm-hmm,
Just
mm-hmm.
try to explain it, go around it or something, you know. And I think I'm at that stage where I'm like, oh, I don't know this word, but maybe I can explain it, you know. So it's very exciting
That's
that
a good place to
somehow,
be, I think. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's great.
because there's this point where you get to a certain understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I think I understand this better than I thought I did, and then
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
how did you get into music? Like, were your parents like musical? I mean, South America is a very musical country in that respect.
Eh,
There's a lot of music around, but how did you get into it?
yeah, in Latin America, we have a lot of different genres and styles. Uh, I don't think there's. I don't. I think I'm the only one in the family who is actually a musician. I could be. Oh, no, no, I'm sorry. Well, my nephews, they are into music, more into composing. They are mainly into rap.
Mm-hmm.
The rap is their thing, and which is an amazing. I mean, I love rap. I don't rap or I don't write this this stuff that they do, and I don't freestyle, but I really enjoy listening to that music.
Hmm.
But I think I'm the only one who actually, picked up an instrument and started learning the instrument since I was very young. Even in primary school, I remember I used to have a school band, but it was very informal. We used to take songs, like existing songs, and basically play. We used to play covers, but we would
Hmm.
change the lyrics to all those songs and
It's a
make them
bit
funny.
like coming back to hip hop. It's a bit like the old school mixtapes people used to make. Like get like
Yes,
the beats and the music from another song, and just put your own
yes,
lyrics on top of it.
exactly, exactly. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But like talking about like really third grade, fourth grade, like I was, I don't know, 8 or something. I don't know. But it wasn't until high school that I met one guy, a friend of mine, close friend of mine, who used to play guitar. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. It just blew me away because of the things that he used to play, that he could play. I was like, the guitar was a very intimidating instrument for me back then,
Hmm.
especially the electric guitar, because it was so, no sounds would come out of it unless you would plug it into a thing that is called an amp. And I'll be like,
Yeah,
wow, this is fascinating.
it's
And then I would see all these,
it brings guitar playing to a
bands.
different level. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. And then I would see these bands on TV, and I'll be like, wow, this is so cool. And then these guys I used to hang out with were into rock, and rock was the thing that, I mean, changed my life really, because I don't know, I used to be very shy when I was little, and
hmm.
definitely through music this was a way for me to just uh, it was like an unknown dimension, like a parallel dimension for me. Would just be at home playing, spending hours on the guitar, learning the solos and riffs and stuff. And I used to love it. And somehow speaking through, and I know it sounds cliche already, people have said it too many times, but speaking through music, like
Hmm.
it's something that I really I feel passion for, you know. And my mom wasn't actually sure that I was going to take it seriously. She thought it was just like one thing. Is gonna give up. I don't know, in a couple months, because I used to be like that when I was little. When I was
Hmm.
like, I don't know, very little. I used to go into, I don't know, I played baseball. Now, I mean, I did play a little bit, but then I quit. I
Hmm.
did fight, karate, and all this stuff. I
Hmm.
quit, and swimming, the same thing. So
Hmm.
then I started saying to my
But I
mom, "Hey,
think you need to just find the thing you're good at. No, it's like
yeah,
it's good to try
yeah,
stuff and fail, but at least you tried it. It's like,
yeah.
I mean,
No,
because
absolutely.
I never did much of anything, and then I went into sound engineering and like production and stuff, and then I was like, oh, hold on, I think I got this. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
sorry, my phone is ringing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my mom. She can wait.
Okay. Okay. It's funny word just talking about my mom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now it's
No,
yours.
it's good to have your parents around.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. Yeah, so it was just that, I was just surrounded by the people that I was supposed to be surrounded by. I mean, I was lucky to have these friends who were into music and into music that somehow spoke to me. And then I discovered certain bands that also changed my life. And
So,
man, then I
n-
just decided to become a guitarist
so
because I started
name
as
the
a guitarist.
bands that inspired you. Like, what is your number one inspiration? Like when you heard their song, you're like, holy shit, I
Yeah,
need to do this myself.
yeah. I'm gonna have to say Metallica. Metallica.
Mm,
Metallica got me started in this thing. Like, it really changed everything for me. And I started late with Metallica. You know, Um, I don't know, maybe when I was like, I don't know, I was 12, 13 or something, I started listening to these songs, like the hit songs.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until I listened to the, or I heard about the S&M, which is a live album with the orchestra, with the San
It's
Francisco
freaking
Symphony.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I have that on a
and
double DVD at home still. It's like,
yeah, yeah, and also Woodstock. Oh my God, Woodstock 90, what, 98, 99. That concert was just wow.
mm.
And Woodstock, not only Metallica, but also, I don't know, a bunch of bands, Limp Bizkit, Korn.
Yeah, when Limp
So,
Bizkit broke down the half fucking main stage. Yeah, yeah. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, that was a chaotic experience
that's
at that
mental.
festival.
Yeah,
Yes, that was
there's a
very
reason
chaotic.
why a lot of people don't like Limp Bizkit at that time, right? It's like, they're fucking
Yes,
idiots.
yes.
Because Fred Durst was a fucking idiot. Like, let's face it. I mean, I love their songs. I actually saw them live in like 2018 or something at
Okay.
2 p.m. on like the second stage at a festival. I like me and my brother-in-law and a friend just like, yeah, man, we need to check this out, right? And like we were jumping up and down. It was crazy. And like when the concert was done at like 3, we were already like done with the energy for the rest of the day, right? It was like fucking 30 degrees, you know, just been jumping
Okay.
up and down for an hour, and we're just like, oh, we're getting too old for this bullshit. It's like, yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
are. I think,
I've seen them twice, and they're amazing. I do.
just
I really love.
fucking solid, you know.
Yes, I mean, wow. They have such a stage presence, and yeah, even though Fred Durst is, Fred Durst, I like him as a frontman because he knows how to entertain people, and
Yeah,
he's just him,
it's fun to it's fun to watch. Yeah, and he became
Yeah.
a little bit less of a dick, you know, and that helps him out.
Mm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I still listen to them, and if they come back, I saw them. I think last year or 2 years ago when they came to. It was a festival on the outskirts or a different city. I don't remember. I saw Nine Inch Nails that day, and they
oh,
were playing almost in parallel. No, I think Nine Inch Nails came first, and then the Biscuit.
that's a
Amazing
bit
show.
of the reverse order as it should be, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
because there was like beef between Fred Durst and Trent Reznor back in the day. It's like Trent
Yeah.
Reznor says
Yeah.
like Limp Bizkit is fucking bullshit. It's not real music. Blah, blah. And then Limp Bizkit made this song that's basically a parody to fucking hell, what's the name of the song? Animal from Nine Inch Nails. And it
Okay.
has like the same kind of chorus, but like because
Already.
Fred Durst is like, yeah, fuck you,
Uh-huh.
Trent Reznor. He's like, who the fuck are you? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but then I'm like, yeah,
They always have
he's
this.
fucking Trent Reznor. It's like, dude, it's like,
Yeah. Exactly.
he,
Exactly. That's another band that, wow, for me, I love Nine Inch Nails and what he does, what
it's
yeah,
one of
this
the
guy
most
does. It's
epic
amazing.
live shows I ever saw, and I saw quite a few. You know, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. I've seen them twice as well in Prague. No, in the Czech Republic both, but one in Prague and the other one at that festival.
was it
And I
Rock for
mean,
People?
maybe, yeah, maybe it was
Uh,
probably that one.
uh,
I don't remember, but it was, I think,
was
2 years ago.
and
And
Radečka Love. I
yeah.
think it's 4
Mm,
5 years ago, maybe.
yeah, or it might have been the Aerodrome. I think that's the name of the one.
Oh yeah.
The
That could be.
festival. I think it was a 1 day festival.
Mm.
So I think it was that one, the Aerodrome. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I went to Aerodrome. I think 3 years ago when Linkin Park played it,
Okay,
and that happened to be the last time
Linkin.
I saw Linkin Park live before Chester Bennington took his own life,
Right.
and I was really happy I went because
I
like,
was there. Y- Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I was there. I don't remember. That was part of a festival. You're saying?
yeah,
Was it part of a festival
Aerodrome,
or?
2017. Yeah.
Okay,
It
no,
was the
yeah, I
beginning of
was
June.
there as well. I saw them. Yeah, I saw them. I remember I've always wanted to see Linkin Park live, always for
Mm.
years, and I saw them, and they were amazing. They had a lot of material from that latest album that they had back then,
Yeah,
and I was surprised because it was very different. The
yeah, but I think they made a nice
sound
kind
was
of
a
like
little more towards pop.
they made kind of like a nice crossover between the old and the new stuff.
Mm. Yeah. And they still have those sounds. Even with that album, you have this guy who raps. What's the name of the guy who raps?
Mike Shinoda. Like
Yeah. And
everybody who's bored during this quarantine, look up Mike Shinoda on YouTube. Come on, my internet connection
I saw
is
it. I saw
fucking up.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mike
Okay.
Shinoda is doing live streams on how to write songs on
Yep.
his YouTube
I
channel, and it's
I've
really
seen
fun to
him.
watch because you can see him like, okay, let's make this beat, and like in an hour he
Yep.
makes a better song than I write in like 2.5 years, right? It's like, and he's just
Yeah.
like relaxing and chilling, and you're like, oh, dude, fuck off.
Yeah. I came across one of these videos. I think last week, and he was talking about possibly making like a new, what's the name of this album? The hybrids. What hybrid? What
Hybrid
their
theory.
first album
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, they were he was talking about possibly making a like a second hybrid theory album, and he was actually writing a song, streaming and writing, and he had his Pro Tools Ableton session,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he was like, doing his stuff, and I was blown away because it was live, and it was sounding so fat, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. He
Yeah,
already
he
had
was
a
basically,
song there,
yeah, he
for an
basically just
album.
explained this. Like, yeah, like I play this guitar, like I pan it to the left, then I record the same
Hmm.
guitar thing, I pan it to the right, and you have like the double amount of like oomph. So it's like,
Yeah,
and you listen to it, like,
yeah,
holy crap.
yeah. No, the guy is amazing, and it sounds like Linkin Park. That is so cool.
Yeah,
I
well,
was like,
he
wow.
was the driving force behind that band. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you were a big fan of Linkin Park. And
definitely. This is Fatima, by the way.
hello,
This is
Fatima. She
he
can't hear
says
me.
hi. You cannot hear him.
That's
Yeah, for some reason she decides to
it.
join me, but she cannot hear
Okay.
what's going on.
No problem. No problem.
So
She doesn't have to go. She doesn't have to go.
well, she's just gonna do her thing. It's gonna be
Okay.
interesting.
Oh, I
Looks a
see.
bit
Some exercise.
looks a bit like a cat now.
I see. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's the thing with quarantine. There's things you cannot prevent, you know.
Yeah. Definitely. I've seen crazy and funny stuff online these days. It's amazing. A lot of creative people doing things pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm amazed by how the community just comes together and stuff. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
So yeah, I'm gonna repeat a question that was on my first ever episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you would be on a deserted island, which 5 albums would you take with you? If you could only pick 5 albums,
Mm-hmm.
if you're forever on a deserted island, which are the 5 albums you would take with you?
Well, that's a difficult question. I think my music taste has changed over the years, and I think I can pick one from each stage in my life. I would probably pick, and yeah, I think I would the S&M, from
Mm-hmm.
Metallica, because I I really like the album, and it changed my life musically,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
I still listen to it. And actually, when they did it again, when they did the S&M show 2, or
Yeah, I didn't
Tiananmen
see
Square.
it yet, but I should. I'm pretty sure it's amazing.
Yeah, I went to the movies. I went to, I think, I don't remember where here. It was amazing. So yeah, that'd probably be one of them.
Hmm.
Uh, I would pick. I'll pick um, some of them are from bands that probably you don't know. They're from
Hmm.
Latin America. So there is a. I've been listening to, like I said, rap a lot these days,
Hmm.
and there's a guy he's from Puerto Rico. His name is Residente, and he's an amazing musician. I mean, not only is he a rapper, but he's into he directs his own videos and stuff. He's
That's
very,
cool.
very, very creative, and lyrically, he's just like from another world. Like he's like a different level of lyric writing. So he has an album called Residente. I
Hmm.
believe it's basically his own. He what he did was that he went to a number of countries
Hmm.
to discover where he came from, right? So he went to several countries in Africa, and I think Asia and Southeast Asia or something, just trying to discover a little bit and make
Hmm.
music, on his journey. And he got to really meet a lot of interesting people that made music with him. So that album is pretty cool. So I would pick it. So then I would pick something a little more, maybe pop for like, uh, you know, especially if it's a deserted island, something like Ed Sheeran, something from Ed Sheeran. I I've been
But
listening,
it's easy listening, right? I mean, the guy
Mhm.
is remarkably talented. Like you can like his music or not, but it's like he knows how to write a
Yes.
catchy song. That's a talent. And like
Hmm.
people, it's like
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
music sucks. It's like there's a reason why it's called pop music. It's popular music. If a lot of people like it, you probably have
yeah,
something
yeah,
good going on for yourself. It's and haters gonna
definitely.
hate anyway. It's like
Yeah, I mean, always, yeah, for sure.
because
But
like I
this
fucking love Billie Eilish's album.
Billy, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that production is like because I listen to music differently than most people do, and I understand that because I listen to
Okay,
it like from the producer and like the mixing kind of perspective.
okay.
And like I heard that album and I'm like, oh, dude, that is some
Mm-hmm.
sweet freaking sounds going on. And people's like,
Nice.
yeah, but she just whispers into the mic. It's like, yeah, but she doesn't need fucking auto-tune on her track. She just sounds good. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't listened to that album. I don't know a few songs from her, but yeah, she's good. She's definitely somebody who I guess she is who she is now to the world because she has something to offer. I guess
yeah, and she
something a
stays
little different.
humble. She doesn't get like an egocentric, like Exo Rose
Yeah.
kind of attitude.
Well, it's funny that you say that because in the beginning I thought that this Billie Eilish thing was a little over the top. I didn't know who she was,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and then everybody talking about this girl, and I'd be like, but man, come on, take it easy. And I started getting a little tired because it was like every single
Yeah,
person
just
talking
just
about her.
overexposed.
Yes, yes, and they were talking about this one song, the bad guy, and I'm like, okay, until I decided to listen to it, and okay, good, nice, but that's it. I mean, it's a good song for me, right? But then I decided was that over time I started watching. I mean, I started seeing stuff from her on YouTube, right?
Hmm.
Suggested videos,
Hmm.
and probably because I watched the bad guy thing
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
YouTube, then I
Like the
started getting
algorithm
more.
kicks in, and it's like, yeah, you want to see more of this? It's like,
Right, and then I'm like, okay, after a week of seeing her face in thumbnails, okay, I'm gonna start seeing what this is about, And I started watching interviews because I enjoy watching interviews online.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
That's one of my main hobbies, like
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
interviews with
Because
random people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to music, like I like to watch interviews from people that I like, that I admire, and I said, okay, I'm gonna watch an interview with her just to see what she's like, how she behaves, how she talks. And I discovered that she's actually very, very humble, very, very down to earth, very
Yeah.
nice girl, very normal, and
Yeah.
she's
Which
nice
is
to
a
her
rare
friends.
thing, you
So
know?
that's something. Yeah, yeah. So that's something I liked about her, and I said, okay, that's fine. Okay, I respect that. That's good to know. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, so 3 albums I guess
Yeah.
I have said. Okay, the fourth album, maybe I would pick, maybe being myself a little more selfish. And I say selfish. Well, if I'm alone, I don't care, right? You said that I'm alone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, then I don't care. Okay, because I was thinking of, okay, if I'm with somebody else, maybe I would pick something different. Maybe I would pick the Arise from Sepultura.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That album also changed my life a little bit because it was such a nice sound, such a nice tone, and yeah, I listen to it sometimes.
Yeah, I saw
So I have a
Sepultura live once, and it was pretty cool. It's like,
yeah.
because I never really listened to them, but people was like, yeah, they're
Okay.
great. Like, you should check them out. And I was like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're good. Because they're from
Yeah. No.
Brazil,
They.
I believe, or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 And then I would pick maybe something from Guns N' Roses.
Uh,
Eh,
that's good. My girlfriend
yeah, because
hates
I
them, like to the bone. She cannot listen to them.
really.
Like, oh, I hate this sound. Like, even when I was listening to Velvet Revolver, she's like, I hate this sound. It's like, who is it? It's like Velvet Revolver. It's like, okay. It's like, who's that? It's like, it's basically Guns N' Roses with like Scott Weiland. And she's like, oh, that's why I don't like it. I fucking hate Guns N' Roses. It's like, okay,
Wow.
okay. Like, but my girlfriend doesn't have like middle grounds in music. So, like, she loves
I see.
something or she hates something. She's not like,
I
I
see.
kind of like this. It's like, it's probably because she's Czech and grew up with communism or something. I don't know why, but
Okay, okay. Wow. Well, but Guns N' Roses is, I think it's very approachable. Is their music is very approachable, and they have all kinds of tones and sounds
yeah.
and
And I'm
I
sorry, you
guess
have like
moods.
Slash on the lead guitar. I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course,
If a guy
of
throws
course.
in a solo, you're like, ah, that is some emotion in the guitar playing,
Yeah, I
which is a
mean,
talent.
absolutely.
It's like,
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I Guns N' Roses was one of those bands that also influenced me as a mainly as a guitarist because I started playing guitar first and singing came
mm-hmm.
later. And Guns N' Roses really changed everything back then. They were
Mm-hmm.
so unique in their sound and in their personalities, especially their personalities.
There was a
Axel was the
lot of
crazy one.
egos going on. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Which
it was
eventually
so.
destroyed the band. And for some
Yeah,
reason, they got back together ages later.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it's
I
like that.
was.
That's why I love the name of their latest tour. Like, not in this lifetime, because like they asked Slash, it's like, when is Guns N' Roses coming back together? And he replied, "Is like, not in this lifetime." And then they did get back together. They're like, yeah, we should name the tour
Yeah, yeah,
the quote. Give
yeah.
me 1 minute. I need to take a
Hmm.
quick pee. I'll be back.
Okay, cool, no problem.
Yeah, I will just keep it recording and I'll cut it out or something.
Okay,
That'll be
okay,
fine.
yeah, no problem.
And otherwise, people
All
can
right.
just look at you awkwardly for a minute.
Yeah, I have my monitor here, so I'll be just doing something else.
Eh,
Hmm.
yes, we're back.
Cool.
Oh yeah, kick out my own headphones. Ah, so
Yeah.
those are
So,
your 5 albums. Do you know what album of Guns N' Roses it's gonna be?
probably the Use Your Illusion one.
Mm-hmm.
They're both, they both have very good songs.
Holy crap!
Um, but maybe the first one just because it was like
Mm.
wow, an amazing thing, you know.
Like the
And it
first
has,
Use Your Illusion or Appetite for Destruction?
oh wow, well, those two great albums.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
kind of like the
difficult question.
problems when you get to bands of that caliber. You know, it's
Yes, yes,
like
is
how many good
it
albums
makes,
can you push out? You know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing, you know. It's funny because when I think it was like 3 4 years ago that I was on a tram. I don't know why this happened on a tram, but then I was thinking, wow, you know, there have been certain bands that have really changed the world, have really put out amazing music, you know, from their first
Mm-hmm.
album, and not it's not like one hit song. No, they have like multiple hit songs. They have an amazing fan base, and then for some reason they just you know, they stop playing, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, they just split up because of whatever reason. And I started thinking of Guns N' Roses, and I was actually looking at their, you know, discography, and they didn't really have, like, they don't have that much time, or back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they the impact, you know, on, you know, human beings, on, just to put it, sounds dramatic, but was pretty big. You know, people listen to this music today, you know, and those songs
Yeah.
are 30 years old, 20 30 years old, I don't know. And it is sad because, you know, because in this case it was because of conflicts with Axel and Slash, and I don't know, Axel with this guy, Axel with this guy, Axel was the problematic guy. But
Yeah,
it is really sad.
it
And then I
is.
said,
Yeah.
wow, I would never see these guys again. Well, not again. I would never see these guys because of these stupid conflicts. They are all alive, and they just happen to have this stupid thing, right? It's not like Queen, you know. It's not like, oh, there would never be a Queen again because Freddie Mercury is no longer with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's sad. I saw them, by the way, with this Adam Lambert.
It's
Great,
pretty great, right?
amazing. I like the guy, but again, you know,
It's not
Freddie
Freddie Mercury.
Mercury is
Yeah.
right, right, right. But I mean, I do like Adam Lambert. I think he's nice. He's a nice guy. He's an amazing singer. But then I was thinking, wow, so these guys, you know, they're still all alive, but they just don't make up and start playing again. And that
Yeah.
was the year before they actually got back
Mm.
together. And I'm like, what the fuck? This can't be happening. This is an amazing thing that is happening,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because they will sell out stadiums again easily. They will really do.
Yeah.
They will really do it. And you know, I saw the date that they had here in that stadium that we have, not the stadium, the
Oh,
airport.
the airfield at Lednani.
Yeah, the airfield. I said I had to go. So yeah, I mean, I saw them, and they were amazing. They were amazing, and I just really could not believe, well, what I was looking at. You know, like the two
Yeah.
big screens,
Yeah.
and Slash. I
Yeah.
had already seen Slash before
Oh, with
with
Miles
this.
Kennedy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So I had
also
already seen
really
him.
good, by the way. Holy crap! Say.
Yes, yes, yes. They are good. But then I'm watching the screen, and then I see Slash and Axl Rose on the same screen, and I'm like, what the? This is
What the fuck
amazing.
happened? Yeah.
Yeah, just
I
that
think a lot of
moment.
people had the same when like the Eagles got back together.
Yeah,
But when the whole
yeah,
Freezes Over tour, people were just like, "What the fuck?" You know? Because the Eagles broke
yeah.
up like this. Like it was all good, and then out of nowhere, in the middle of the gig, one of the guitar players just walks off. It's like, fuck you guys. And that was with all the band members. Like all of them were like in conflict. They're like, yeah, fuck it. It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what you see with a lot of bands that get a lot of success. Like the pressure gets too high and the fun gets out of the making of the music, and it becomes like
yeah.
the job and the routine,
Mm,
and there's
yeah, yeah.
frustrations going on, and then it's just like, well, yeah, okay, it makes good money, but I'm really unhappy, so fuck this. It's like,
Mm, yeah. No, I mean it's not easy to have a band in general. It's very difficult. So when you see these bands that are still playing like 30-year plus 40 years playing together, and they are still happy and releasing music, that's
yeah, because like
that's that's amazing.
I saw the Rolling Stones like a
Mm,
few years back, and like
okay,
I mean I like the Stones, right? But I never would buy a ticket to see them. But they were at a
okay,
festival I was at as the
okay.
headliner, and like
Uh,
I was like, go check them out, and I'm like, dude, like these guys have rock, and it's basically like an elderly home with instruments on stage right now, right? It's like they're fucking
mhm.
old, all of them, but
Yeah,
sometimes just more energy than bands of like 25-year-old people that I saw before
yeah,
that. It's like crazy. It's like,
yeah. I mean, definitely. I think I missed that show. I think they didn't play here, but they played in Vienna, right?
they played Prague as well. I saw some posters.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I wasn't in Prague that day, and then I wanted to go see them somewhere else, somewhere maybe I don't know, Germany or Austria or something,
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't even make it there. So I was very unhappy. And it's not like I'm a huge Rolling Stone fan, but it's the Rolling Stones, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be able
No,
to
like,
say I saw them.
well, I had the luxury to see Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band twice, which
Nice.
is crazy because most people say, "Oh, I wish I could have seen them," and I just happened to see them 2 times without me planning to see them.
Wow,
They just happened to be there, and it was like
that's awesome.
3.5, 4 hour show without breaks, and like
Really?
just keeping going, and like because
Wow.
Bruce is a legend, and for a reason.
Mm,
It's like he's a
yeah.
true rock and roll star. It's like,
Yeah. No,
and his
he's
E
who he
Street
is.
band is just phenomenal. It's like, holy crap, guys, they know how to play. It's like,
Nice, nice. Good. These are people that you will always remember. You went to
yeah,
that show, you will always remember that show, and how much fun you had in at the show. So that's cool, man. That's awesome.
yeah.
You know.
It's gonna take a while before we see another show again, for real. It's like
Yeah.
today the news came out that my favorite Czech festival, Rock for People,
Hmm.
is canceled for this year, but
Mm.
they're gonna move it to next year. And I tried to keep the current lineup because it's the one of the first times the festival is actually sold out. Because they
Really?
had like Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, The Stat, POD. It's like boatload of crazy good bands in one lineup. And now the
Wow.
Corona crisis came. So they're
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's terrible.
we would like you guys to keep your tickets and come next year and not ask for a
Mm.
refund. So we can do it
Mm-hmm.
next year. Like if everybody would request a refund right now, that would be the
Yeah.
last Rock for People ever, and they go bankrupt,
Mm.
and that's it, right? Because they already paid for
Yeah.
everything,
Okay.
and
Yeah, I guess.
like most
Mm.
people are like, yeah, sure, we'll come next year. It's like,
Hmm. Sure. I mean,
and
the
that's
people
what
who
people
already
need
bought
to
the tickets.
understand, because this is an unprecedented situation in history, pretty
Yeah.
much, and
Yeah.
especially for
Yeah.
the
It is.
entertainment industry. It's like shit. Like I have
Yeah.
friends working
It's.
in that business in the Netherlands, and they cannot do shit for the next 6 months.
Yeah. It's sad
Yeah,
for
and
my.
still people need to pay their rent or their mortgage or things like that. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know if music is your professional business.
I have other sources of income, but I. Yes. I mean, of course, I'm affected by the situation. but music is not the main source of income. So somehow I deal with it
Mhm.
somehow. But it is sad to see what is happening. With my fellow musicians, how much how much they are struggling right now.
Mhm.
And but the good thing is that at least we have internet, and there are these services where some people can offer their services.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, these platforms where people can offer their services, and somehow some people that I know are using them.
Yeah, I see some
Um,
people have like Facebook and Instagram open mic going on like two
yeah,
times a
yeah,
week. I can see some other people giving like classes online of like how to play drums or guitar, stuff like that. It's like
yeah,
people get really
yeah,
creative.
yeah.
And
That's the other thing. It's
yeah,
it's it's great to see the level of I don't know, creativity that you see out there
yeah,
where in this situation. It's amazing.
yeah,
Like people
people
coming up with
are way more flexible. And I think right now they start to notice like, oh, hold on, I don't need to buy new shoes every month. I don't need a new haircut every week. I don't need all of this consumerism that's normally the thing people
yeah,
focus on. And now they're at home. They're like, eh,
yeah.
maybe I don't need all the stuff I think I need. And I'm quite fine just staying at home and make some food and be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 sure. So
And now people
uh,
realize how important art is in that respect, like music and movies and stuff, because they stay at home, they have nothing to do.
hmm,
They go on Netflix, they go on Spotify, they consume a lot of art. And they're
yeah,
like, well, that's what keeps me sane. It's not the new shoes that keep me sane. It's like that
yeah,
one song or that movie or that TV series that keeps me going.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree 100% with you. It's the reality. It's true. I mean, musicians always struggle, and we don't get. Well, I wouldn't say that I play music for money. I mean, that's not the main reason why I do this, but you know, people often see musicians as, okay, I can give you this much, or I can pay you with a beer.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll give you
But
exposure. Like if you play the song for free, we'll give you
right,
exposure. Yeah.
right, exposure. That's the one. I forgot that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then your landlord comes around and it's like, yeah, can you pay the rent? It's like, no, but I got loads of exposure, and maybe I can pay you with my exposure. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
So
not how the world works. It's like
exactly, and I mean,
because
recording music is
before someone gets to play a gig, they put hours and hours and hours in there. Like
yeah, yeah,
learn to master their instrument, write a song, rehearse the song, get it perfect, know how to perform it right, and then you're in front of the audience. It's like, oh, great gig, man. Here's 500 crowns. Fucking great.
yeah, yeah. And even the instruments, the actual instruments,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they can be very expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because I don't know if you've seen this post on Facebook where you see like a trunk of a car
Mm-hmm.
with a bunch of instruments, and there's a message that goes something like, I don't know, this is the only situation where you spend, say, $5,000 on equipment to later get paid $50
Yeah, yeah.
for the actual show. That's so sad. I mean,
It's
it's
really sad.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
uh,
but
it's an underestimation. People's like, yeah, you should just play for free if you would like to play. It's like if you like
yeah,
to build walls with bricks and mortar, maybe you should do it for free if you like to do that. It's like no, but it's a
yeah.
construction job. They should be paid well. It's like it's the same
Yeah, no,
thing, but
it's
you approach it differently because it's not something you can touch. I think that's the thing. Like it's not a physical product.
Yeah.
in that respect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if someone makes like a nice necklace, you can touch it and grab it and carry it home. And with music, yeah, it's a song.
Right.
It's different, especially in
Well.
the time of streaming. You know, people don't buy physical CDs or vinyls
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that is a difference because I still like to
Yeah.
buy
Definitely.
some albums every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that artwork looks cool. I'd like to have that.
Cool. That's nice. Do you
Yeah.
buy the CDs or like vinyls or?
I don't have a player for my vinyls, so
Okay.
I mostly have
Okay.
CDs, which I just put on the stack of CDs. Like I don't even play it, but it's like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to Spotify, so I listen to my music on Spotify. Like the convenience factor.
Yes. I mean, it's great. It's very, it's portable. You just put it in your pocket. You
Yeah.
forget about changing discs. It's
Mm,
it's super cool.
old
I
school
love Spotify.
times. Like the
I
the the Walkman. Did you ever have a Walkman back in the day?
Yeah. 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 The
Like a little cassette
Discman.
tape put in there, and then like when the battery
Yeah.
went low, the music played at like three fourths the speed it would normally go.
Yeah. But those were fun times. I really
Fucking
had
amazing,
fun.
yeah.
I enjoyed those times with my Walkman. I mean, so much,
Yeah,
so
with the
much.
Discman, it was always guessing how long will the shock protection hold out when I'm walking like this. It's like
Right, 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 right.
because first of all, you needed to find like a code that could fit your Discman properly because they were fucking massive.
Yeah,
I wouldn't fit in
yeah,
a
that's
bunch of
true.
things. And then you find one, and then you were walking, and then you find out it would fucking move too much.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then
Oh,
after
one second.
30 minutes, it would fucking pass out. It's like, shit. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, those times were great. I miss them a little bit.
yeah, yeah. There
I
was
really
something
do.
about it that's it's probably nostalgia, right? Like, if we would go
Yeah.
back to it today, we would fucking hate it. Like, fucking bullshit, fucking ah. But when you
No, I
think back
mean,
of it, it's like, I was really happy back then.
yeah, yeah. No,
Because it's
definitely.
also back to a time when you were like probably not an adult yet. So you
Mhm.
didn't have so much responsibilities on your neck at that time. So your life was just way easier, I think.
Definitely,
Like don't
definitely.
need to pay
I
the
mean,
rent, don't need to pay my taxes, don't need to make sure I have money for food at the end of the month once I paid my rent. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, for sure. I would just go to school and go home and listen to music and play guitar and play video games as well. I used to play video games when I was
nice.
little. Yeah,
I still play video games.
yeah,
Yeah, I have my
yeah.
PlayStation 4. I
Cool,
even have
cool.
the PlayStation virtual reality headset.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
That's cool.
it's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's a kind of outdated hardware. Like, it's pretty
Uh-huh.
pixelated, but once you have it on for
Okay.
like a minute, you don't really notice it. It's like it's fine.
Nice, nice.
So I'm
Cool.
playing.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Skyrim in VR right now, and I never played
Okay.
Skyrim before.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, big fucking spiders in VR,
Uh-huh.
fucking creepy. Oh my god,
Nice.
it's like
That's cool. Do you get headaches after a while?
no, I'm fine with it, but it's different for every person.
Okay.
If you're like susceptible to like motion sickness and stuff, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably not the best. I don't have that problem.
Okay.
It's really
Okay.
good. There's some really stellar games in VR, and Sony is the biggest at that because they
Mm-hmm.
have the PlayStation base, which is the
Mm-hmm.
best sold console ever.
Okay.
It's a VR headset that you can use without having an expensive computer,
Okay.
and the performance is still pretty okay. So it's like, yeah. And I heard it's gonna be supported on the PlayStation 5 as well. So I'm like, okay, that's good.
Is there a PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 5 will come out at the end of this year.
Wow.
It's the
Okay.
planning, but due to the
Nice.
Corona thing, we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I
everything
didn't
gets
know
kind
that.
of moved backwards. You know.
Yeah. That's so cool. I just get blown away by this technology. The graphics are just amazing these days. I
Yeah.
watched a video of Mortal Kombat because I used to play it
Oh,
a lot.
badass.
And yeah, and then I started getting a lot of suggestions on YouTube. And then there's this channel where they compare all the Mortal Kombats from the very first one to
Yeah.
the latest. I think it's called 11, Mortal Kombat 11.
I have
And
no
the
idea where
graphics
we're
are,
at right now, but like,
yeah, it's insane. It's really insane to see the graphics nowadays. They're just like
yeah, yeah,
so, there's so much definition in their muscles, in their clothing, in their
yeah.
weapons,
But like
in the,
even in their first game, there was already an insane amount of
yeah,
graphics for
yeah,
that
yeah. And
time. It's like, what? This looks completely different than Street Fighter. You know, it's like,
yeah, exactly. So Mortal Kombat in particular was a revolutionary game because of the graphics. There were actual people who somehow got, I don't know, computerized.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I still I have, there's something special about the first one that I still like. I mean, I love it. I like the first one and the second one. The others were okay, but the first one and the second one, wow! I just played it so much when I was little that
yeah, yeah,
if I had it now at home, I would just not go out, but like forever.
yeah.
Like I would just stay here, not do anything
Yeah,
else.
that's
So
well, you know Ryan Fraser, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like well, that's what he's doing now. Yeah, it's quarantine. He's just playing old school
nice.
video games all the time. You know, like
I
I
saw.
donated my Super Nintendo Mini as a loan to the bar. So
Oh,
he's playing
cool.
like Super Nintendo games on my SNES Mini, and he has like a PlayStation Two. He
Awesome.
has like a N64. Uh,
Uh-huh.
he has a Switch. Like
Okay.
there's a lot of cool old school games, and yeah, when you play those games, you're like, yeah, there's a reason why you like them because they're still stand up today. Like you can pick it
Yeah.
up. Yeah, the graphics are a bit meh, but if it's good gameplay, the graphics don't matter. It's like,
No, no, not at all. I mean, I would still, I mean, I would play Super Nintendo so much. Oh my God. Mario Kart. Oh man.
fucking
You would
addictive,
not.
man. Holy crap.
Oh, wow. I,
I think
I
that
had,
might be the best Mario Kart that was ever made.
yeah,
Like, you had
the
Mario
one in
Kart
Super,
64, pretty cool, but different. I really like
yeah.
the Mario Kart on the Nintendo Wii. That was pretty cool.
Okay. I
And you
didn't
could
play.
use the controller as a steering wheel. And like, yeah, it's kind of
Now,
cool.
okay. 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 No,
But the
I like
first
the,
one is just
yes.
so good. It's
Yeah.
like I bought my SNES Mini when I was in the Netherlands for Christmas, like 4 years ago. And like me and my
Uh-huh.
brother-in-law just stayed up until like 5 a.m. playing stupid Mario Kart against each other. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I used to play it very often, like almost every day, and have, there were rivalries in my neighborhood. People would come over to my place, and we just spend hours and hours, and we would go and buy food and just stay there playing
Mm,
Mario Kart, and those were nice times as well. Music
mhm.
was one thing, but then the other thing when I was a child or a teenager was video games. That was also a big thing. So definitely Mario Kart and yeah, Nintendo 64, and the last one that
Uh,
I had was the Dreamcast, and that's it.
Dreamcast. That didn't go that well, did it?
No, no, it didn't go well, but the experience, the user experience was amazing. I mean, the
Yeah, yeah,
graphics,
I played it a
the
few times,
games
and I was
were
like,
so
yeah.
good. The games
Yeah,
were
man.
amazing, and
It just
I have it.
the timing and the marketing was completely too late. It's like too little, too late.
Yeah,
They should have stepped up
they
their game, but they didn't.
yeah they made a lot of mistakes, and unfortunately, it didn't last long, which is a pity because I loved it.
Mhm.
And I actually have the console here. I have it here in Prague in my room, but it's broken.
I
Otherwise,
have
I'll
the
probably
same thing with the original NES. It's in my
okay.
flat in Prague, but I need to repair it
Yes,
because
I
it
mean,
used to work and now it doesn't. And I know there's not a lot of things that can be broken because there's not a lot of things in there.
yeah. Well, in that
So
particular one, yes.
so it should be easy to fix, So I should do some research and
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah. There must be places here where
Yeah,
they can check it out and check what's wrong.
yeah,
Probably
exactly.
nothing really serious, because that's gold. You have gold at home.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
mean,
know. It's
that
fucking
is.
brilliant, and the controller is just so nice. Like even though like it's a square box with a few buttons, you're just like Super Mario Brothers. Holy shit, man! Ah,
That's amazing. Yeah, that
the
is so cool.
simplicity of it makes it so good. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like
I
everyone
was
can
also.
just pick it up and play it. Like there's no
It's
elaborate
easy. Yeah,
explanations what you need to do.
it's very intuitive. You only need two buttons in that one, and I mean, it's super cool. It's awesome. I also like Super Mario 3.
Oh yeah,
That one is pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah. On the
So
Super Nintendo, I liked the Super Mario All Stars, but you had all the Super Mario games till that point in one game. It's like
okay. Yeah, yeah,
had
yeah. I
like
remember now. Yeah.
revamped graphics and audio and stuff, but it's the same game. And like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So,
Yeah, fun times.
if you had to name your favorite game of all times, what would it be?
Oh, the question is easy. Eh, I would say Zelda, the Legend of Zelda.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That game, wow. I mean, it's definitely the best for me. I had it in, I think, Super Nintendo and in Nintendo 64, the Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. I love everything about that game. And that by far is my favorite video
It's
game.
just good. Like the storytelling is good.
Yes.
It's a challenge to finish it because it's like even for that time,
It's
it was a
very,
huge game. Like what the fuck?
it was very
Like
long. Yeah, 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 yeah. It took a long time. But as you said, the storytelling, the puzzles in the game, the characters, the
mhm,
music, man, the music,
the music.
amazing. The music is amazing, and the development of the character, of the role of the main
Mhm.
character, it's wow. I mean, everything about that game is great. So yeah, I don't play it anymore, but yeah, I I love it. I really do.
That's good stuff. So, are you into movies or not?
Into movies, I
Or
try
TV
not to
series?
watch. Yeah, I try not to watch TV so much, just because I know that I can get addicted to it pretty easily. And I
Like
prefer
some
to
self
spend time.
protection.
Yeah, I mean, I try. I mean, it's fun to watch movies. I mean, it's you always learn something, and I mean, it's entertaining. So there's nothing wrong about it. But I just prefer to do other things. But of course, every once in a while, now with Netflix that we have it at home, wow. I mean, there's
Might as well use
so
it, yeah.
much. Yeah, I mean, there's so much content on Netflix. It's overwhelming, the amount of movies and series and everything is so good and cheap. You just pay this subscription and that's it.
Yeah, I don't
You
even
know?
notice it.
Yeah,
It just flies off my bank account. And say, okay.
it's not much. I mean, it's just I don't know, whatever. I don't
No, I
remember
actually had
either.
to upgrade it because I had Netflix for like 2 screens. Then I met my
Oh,
girlfriend
okay.
like 3 years ago. So I gave her my
Uh huh.
sign in, like my login, and a dollar as well. And then I got to the point where I wanted to watch something, but my Netflix told me, it's like, no, these and these persons are already watching. You cannot watch right now. And like
Oh,
upgrade,
uh-huh.
like pay like €1 more a month. So I had like one more screen that I could watch it on at the same time.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they actually can check that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, people do that. But yeah, I mean, the there are movies that I, or say genres of movies that I like. But in general, I would say that I don't watch it so much. You know, because I know myself, and I know that if I find a good TV show, I will not leave the couch, and that's not a good thing. I did it with I did it with Prison Break. I remember I
Mm-mm-mm.
discovered it was already old, but then everybody was talking about it, and everybody was talking, and oh my god, until one day I got tired, and I don't know who actually gave me the actual first season, you know, and I decided to watch one episode. My girlfriend at the time was
Mm-hmm.
not at home, and it was a Friday, and I had no plans. So I started like at 7, with a bag of chips, and I went to bed like at 4 because I watched the whole first season. I watched all
Yeah,
the episodes.
it sounds relatable. I think I had the same thing when Breaking Bad came out on Netflix. And
Okay.
like one of my friends is a chemist, and
Okay.
it's like, dude, like there's this series on Netflix, like Breaking Bad. You should watch it because it's really badass. It's like I don't know, it doesn't sound like very intriguing to me. And I was like, he told me like the plot is like, sounds kind of boring. It's like just watch the first episode and then stop watching it. And at the same thing, there's like a stretch until like 5 in the morning, and the first
Yep.
season was done. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's really, really, really good. And now we have like the Better Call Saul, which is a prequel to Breaking Bad, and I
Okay.
think it's even better than Breaking Bad, like because it
I
started
haven't.
really slow, and now we're like at the end of season 5, and things are
Okay.
going bad very quickly. It's like
Already.
things are escalating, like bam, 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 and you're just watching like what the fuck's gonna
Uh
happen
huh.
next. And then you have to wait a week because those episodes get released every week, and the
Okay.
last episode of this season is coming out tomorrow,
Okay.
so
Uh huh.
looking forward to that.
I actually don't know anything at all about Breaking Bad, and I'm like I'm not sad about it because I know that if I watch the first episode, I might just keep watching the whole night. you know.
Yeah, and then you have
Eh,
like 5 seasons to go through. Yeah,
wow.
and that's why
Wow.
I never watched Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
like eight
Well,
seasons. It's like I have a life, people. I have to
yeah,
do stuff.
once I did watch the first episode because I was so curious about it, and actually they had a very strong accent, and I was a little lost because there were way too many characters, and people were just disappearing in the first episode. They were just dying, and I'm like, wow, this is a little confusing. So I think I'm not sure about this. Maybe I'll just keep watching, and that's it. And then there's this scene where two brothers are having like brother and sister are having sex, and then there's a kid at the window. I think it's outside or something. He falls down, he dies, something insane. I'm like, okay, I think this is a very interesting TV show, and I watched the first one, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
just gave
stopped.
up. Yeah.
That was very weird. Especially that scene. And yeah, but
Yeah,
not really my cup of
but
tea.
sometimes like the first episode can be really pull you in. It's like I had it with like
Right.
the first episode of Black Mirror.
Okay.
Don't know if you watched that.
No, 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 no. I mean, I
Uh,
heard of it, but I don't know. I
no,
haven't.
watch the first episode. I was just like, dude, like whoever wrote this is a freaking genius. and
Yeah.
needs to see a psychiatrist at the same time. It's like,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah,
Oh wow. Is that shocking? Okay.
yeah. I was just
I'll
like, what? It's like, but it's
okay.
pretty eerie because it's about like the future and how technology can fuck up things. And
Okay.
it's kind of like a modern, like 1984 kind of thing, you know?
Okay. Tell me the name again. I'll just type it in
Uh,
here.
Black Mirror.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
it seems
something worth to
I see
check
good
out. It's really
rating.
good.
I see good rating, so that's a
Hmm.
good thing. Okay.
I think they had a
Ah,
nice
my.
budget on the production.
Okay. That's nice. It looks good already, so
Yeah,
I'll
it's
probably check it out.
pretty unique. I don't know anything that's close to it, you know?
Nice, nice. Hey, there. Just to let you know, I must have about 7% of battery left on my phone.
Okay. Well, we
Just
can.
in case I stop. Just in case I stop talking, you know what happened. But
Yeah,
just to let
fair
you
enough.
know.
Fair enough. So, anything you got going on in your life at the moment, like creative wise, or
Yeah.
personal, or work, or what you want the people to know? How to
Well,
find you
current
online, or what you're doing?
right. Yeah. Like currently, I'm working on a few collaborations, online collaborations, and so I released a single back in January, and I'm going to release a, quote unquote live version of that song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming out hopefully next week, but I don't know exactly yet. And with each person at their homes,
Mm-hmm.
so the sort of format. And I'm also working in parallel on my upcoming single, which is coming out in theory in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So that is keeping me a little busy because there's a lot of logistics and tasks to
Mm-hmm.
be finished. They're in progress. So definitely these collaborations and this upcoming single, which is coming out with a music video as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little busy, but I'm not complaining because I love doing this. So this is great.
Yeah, what I found really funny about like the music video you put out, it's like
Hmm.
that the people performing in the music video, I know all of them. Like, oh, there's that guy behind the drums. Oh, that's that guy on the saxophone. Oh, there's that guy on the bass. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
it shows that the music scene in Prague is big but small at the same time. You know, it's like,
Yeah. I've known them for a long time.
mm-hmm.
Especially, well, not a long time. What is a long time? Maybe like, I don't know. Lukos, I've known him for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I think,
Mm-hmm.
the drummer. So in the music scene in Prague, you just get to know them. And, it's funny because
And they're all
for
really
the music,
professional. You know,
yeah, they're very good musicians.
like if you
Eh,
ask them, it's like, can you join me on this? Most of them would say, oh yeah, sure. It's like,
yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I was looking for a saxophone player for the music video. I didn't have anybody and I didn't know anybody, and I was a little frustrated because I had the dates already booked. I
mm-hmm.
had everything, but I was missing the saxophone player and I didn't have a trumpet player. So I said, okay, well, it's a video, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like in the song.
Uh-huh.
So I'm walking home with my wife,
Uh-huh.
and then there's this guy that I had already seen before,
Mm-hmm.
and then I see him again with my wife, and then I'm talking to my wife, and then I'm saying to her, "Hey, I have this problem because I have this shoot, and I don't have a saxophone player." And then we're walking past the saxophone player, and then she says, "What about this guy next to you? What about him?" And then I'm like, okay, that could be possible. So anyway, she went home, and then I stayed there watching the guy, and then I approached him and asked him, "Hey man, listen, I know this is weird, I know this is very strange, but would you like to be in like a music video in like a week or two or something?" he was like, sure, yeah, sure. Let me know when, and I'll be there.
That to me that sounds like Juliano completely, because that's the guy. Like I know him. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
because
And I mean,
before this lockdown, I used to host the open mic every Tuesday,
mhm.
and he's like part part of the furniture in that bar. You know, it's like he's just there all the time. So it's like
Yeah,
so when I saw that video,
yeah,
I'm like, I know this guy, and that guy, and that guy. It's like it's a nice selection of
yeah,
the pretty much the Prague open mic music scene. You know, people like to
yeah. I mean, which
mix
is
and collaborate. You know.
it's pretty amazing to see this, especially because I've seen the change in the last 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it has changed a lot. You see a lot of new places, and it grows. It keeps growing. So this is
Uh-huh.
very exciting to see. You get to meet a lot of great musicians in this local scene. So I'm very happy and lucky to be living in this city because there's a
Yeah,
lot, you know. It's really a great city to live in, and it's when it comes to music, it's perfect.
yeah. So to anyone outside of the Czech Republic, once the borders are open again and you can visit, pay it a visit. That's what I would
Yeah,
say. It's worth your time, I think.
yeah. Prague is an amazing city. I wouldn't be here still like if it wasn't an
Yeah,
amazing city.
exactly, exactly. Like I've been here for 5 years, so yeah. People's like, "Do you like
Yeah.
it?" It's like, "Well, I've been in for 5 years." It's like, "What do you think?" Like, if I wouldn't like it, I would be somewhere else. You know, it's like,
Yep. That simple. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. It's great. It's a great city. Definitely beautiful as well. So
yeah, yeah. It's pretty amazing. So on that note, I
yeah.
will end this podcast, and I would like to thank you very much for being my guest tonight. And
Thank you very much for having me.
I
It
will
was a
post your
pleasure.
links in the description down below. And if people
Okay.
like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It's not because it's gonna help me a lot because I'm not making any money off of this, but it's gonna be great.
Turn on
So
those post notifications.
what? Oh yeah, click the bell for the notifications, which is what little Fatima reminded me about. Thank you for that. So thank you, Kenny. It's been good to see you,
Thank you.
and I hope to see you in real life pretty soon.
Sure. I'll see you around. Thank you for having me. Bye bye.
Cheers. Have a good night.
Good night.